If you're a subscriber to this channel, thank you very, very, very much. Truly, I appreciate all my subscribers, especially ones who have stuck around during this whole time. I know I started out a little differently than where I'm at now, especially since I'm not shooting film right now. Haven't done any film related videos in quite a while. So people who have stuck around, I truly, truly appreciate that. Anyone who has subscribed relatively recently because of the Fujifilm videos, thank you very much for being here. If you are watching this video and are not subscribed, I invite you to do so. I'm trying to build this channel as big as it will grow. I'm trying to find as many people that will enjoy these videos as possible. I don't want a huge subscriber base just for the sake of having huge numbers. But from all the research I've done with all the photography channels that I've watched and enjoyed, I think my long-term subscriber goal, a realistic long-term subscriber goal, is between 50 and 60,000 subscribers. I think that's attainable. I don't know how much room I'll have to grow beyond that unless you start branching out into other things. I feel like there are a few anomalies of photographers that have 100,000 on up. But my long-term goal is 50 or 60,000, and I think that's realistic. Right now I'm at a little over 3,000, and I'm in no rush to get there. Today I'm talking to you, my audience, but I also want to talk to other YouTube photographers. So this is a calling to the YouTube photography community as a whole. I know that's really broad, but there's a point to this. There's a reality that all YouTube channels have to face, and the details of that reality changes depending on which niche you're in or which genre your videos cover. There's a handful of things that the YouTube algorithm rewards and pushes forward, and there are a handful of things that do really well and get a lot of views and a lot of likes. And as they get more views and likes, then the algorithm pushes those out even more. And in the photography world, those things include gear reviews. They oftentimes include switching formats when people claim I'm no longer shooting Sony, I'm only shooting Fujifilm, or why I'm quitting the Fujifilm system. I even kind of did one recently on why I'm not shooting film at the moment, but that was a sincere discussion, and I've tried not to fall into that trap too much. But the reality is, those are the kinds of videos that grow channels. I don't like to do gear reviews every week, and I can't do gear reviews every week because I don't get a new piece of equipment every week. But I do mix them in when I'm able to. All the gear I have, almost all the gear I have, with the exception of one or two third-party lenses, I purchased with my own money, and I purchased because I wanted to use them. I wanted to try them out to understand if they're right for me or not. In that process, I like to share some of my experiences with you guys. So that being said, if I have this goal of growing my channel, I have to play this game a little bit. I have to do some gear reviews. I have to play the clickbait game a little bit, because if you don't, the reality is if you don't, your videos get buried. No one sees them. Even if you are subscribed, short of going to my channel page and seeing if I have a new video up, YouTube won't push them out to you if it doesn't check a few of these boxes. I don't think we're going to change this completely. We're not going to change this anytime soon, because that's the way the algorithm works. It's a self-fulfilling thing. It claims it pushes out things people want to see, but people watch what's being pushed out, and it's a never-ending cycle. But what I want to do today is brainstorm a little bit on how we can combat this just a little bit within the YouTube photography community. I don't have a ton of ideas on how to combat this because the YouTube algorithm is what it is, and we're not going to change that. But one thing I want to try is to encourage you, and I want to do this too. Let's watch and share videos that aren't gear reviews, that aren't these big format switching or big clickbait type videos. Let's share and watch some videos that are about the craft of photography, the technique, the strategy, the art behind it. Stuff that can transcend brand and transcend format and sometimes transcend the actual genre of photography that you're shooting. So in order to do this, in order to kick this off, I'm gonna try to make this a relatively regular thing. So I need to think of a title for this series, but the goal will be either once a month or maybe a couple times a month, but at least try to do it at least once a month. I'm going to come on and talk about one channel or one video that talks about the art of photography or the craft of photography or some aspect of photography that's not talking about the specs of a camera or this brand versus this brand or anything that's really just an algorithm feeding video. Stuff that we all have to make if we want our channels to survive. So I'm not criticizing any videos in that regard. The goal for me is to lift up some of these videos that talk about these subjects, the art of photography, craft of photography, technique, all this stuff that talk about these things, lift them up a little bit. Maybe if enough of this catches on, we can tip the scales just a little bit on the algorithm, and some of these will get a little bit more push behind them. I know on my channel, I've tried to balance this out because I want to give you guys more content than just gear reviews. I've done some videos on like the printer, the paper I use for my photo printer. I've done some videos and some strategies and techniques that I like to use for my photography and whatnot. And some videos have done better than others, but consistently, my top viewed videos are either gear review videos or some of my Fujifilm film simulation recipe videos, which is great. That's actually a positive thing because that's not necessarily just specifically gear related. That's about, you know, the look of a film recipe. But I want to push some of these other videos that aren't even on my channel. I want to push other channels and other specific videos just to demonstrate my goal with this so we can kick this off. So if you have a YouTube channel, a photography YouTube channel, I'm inviting you and encouraging you to do something like this. Find another channel that has a video talking about some aspect of photography that's not gear related and either share that on social media or create a video talking about that channel. So since this is the inaugural video to kick off this this series or whatever this series is going to be called, I'm going to talk about one of the original channels that was built on this idea, and that's Ted Forbes' channel, which is called appropriately The Art of Photography. I'm sure many, if not most of you, know his channel, but if you don't, you definitely should check it out. It's one of the best photography channels on YouTube, maybe the best, because he's put his money where his mouth is for over 10 years, meaning that he's built his channel, he built his audience on videos like that, sharing his knowledge and experience, doing interviews with some great photographers, and just built a ton of content that talks about everything to do with the art and craft of photography. So I want to kick this off talking about Ted's channel, but I will also link to one specific video, and not because this is the best one in his channel, but just one specific one to give you an example of some of the videos that we should start trying to lift up and share and watch more. So I'm going to link in the description to one of Ted's videos about composition. He has a handful of videos about composition, and they're fantastic. And it's stuff that you can watch and then go implement and go practice. And then also keep an eye out with other photographers and other photo work that you see, and see how those photographers are using some of the composition techniques that Ted talks about. So I will link to that video in the description below, as well as obviously Ted's channel as a whole. And then next time I do this, I'll have another channel or video that I'll talk about and share. So right now, what I'll do in the meantime, I need to think of a title for this series and make a list of other channels and videos. I did start a while ago a YouTube recommendation video series, and I will continue that. And I have a list of some channels that I'm going to recommend for that next video, which I'll do soon. But this is a separate one because This one, I won't always share a channel specifically. Sometimes it'll be a video that I'm sharing. But the main thing is trying to lift these other YouTube creators up a little bit in terms of some of the other videos that may not get as many views as normal. Really encourage the community to start connecting in a way that it's tough now, because if I create Fujifilm related videos because that's what I own, so these get shared with other Fujifilm camera users, and it creates a sort of bubble. And you have that with the film photography community bubble. You have that with maybe Canon or Nikon. There starts to create these little silos, and I'm trying to find ways to encourage a connection between each subgenre of the YouTube photography community. So that's really it, is talking about the realities of YouTube photography creator, and the fact that, yes, I admit that I have to play this game a little bit. I have to do some reviews. I have to do some videos that get views to get some new viewers, to invite new viewers to come in. But I will continue, and I want to continue to do more substance of the art and craft of photography, and talking about these other subjects that's we can all relate to, and we can all discuss and really think about. If you have a YouTube channel, again, I invite you to do the same thing. Find a video, find a channel that talks about the art or craft of photography, or something about it that's not gear related. Share that, talk about it. If you don't have a channel and you want to contribute, you can just find a video and put it in the comments below, post it on social media. Let's just see where we can take this. Now, I'm starting this off as a channel with only 3,000 subscribers, so I'm a pretty small fish in this big pond. There's a few of my followers out there that have a bigger there's a few subscribers I know. You guys have a bigger following than I do. So hopefully if one or two of you can do the same thing, it'll start to catch on. And I will try to contact some other channels that have bigger followings and see if they want to do something similar. So again, thank you guys as always. I hope this is something we can kind of continue and build up some of these videos and channels that talk about this stuff. Thanks again, guys. I'll talk to you soon.